everyone from the MetricsDAO team. I am Vida, education lead at MetricsDAO, and I'm very excited to be bringing you this webinar today. This very exciting webinar about osmosis. We are going to start in 1 minute, so get comfortable and we'll start soon. Okay, GM, everyone, let us know if you're here by writing GM in the chat. We would love to see who is here with us today. But really excited to be bringing this webinar to all of you. And thank you for everyone who is, whether watching live or watching after this webinar has happened. Right, so let's kick this off. Today, we are going to be talking about a very exciting text on the Cosmos ecosystem, which is osmosis. During the webinar today, we will be looking into what osmosis is, how it differs from other similar projects in this space, what are some of the key technologies that it has brought into the blockchain space, and what's waiting for it in the future. So let's kick this off. And before we jump into osmosis, I wanted to introduce you to the organizer of this webinar, which is MetricsDAO. At MetricsDAO, we are a community of Web3 data analysts who provide Web3 organizations with on demand data, insights, and tooling. So, if any of you are interested in joining our community, you're very, very welcome to join our Discord server, which is at the moment composed of almost 5,000 community members. So it's a great opportunity to connect with our community. Um, and in addition to the amazing community that we have, we also organize a bunch of different educational courses. So we have both live and asynchronous programs for anyone who would like to learn how to become a very analytics professional. So we have both one-on-one courses for people that are just starting in the world of Web3 analytics, and 201 programs for people that already maybe have gone through the one-on-one program and already have a good foundational skill set. In addition to that, we also host a bunch of different asynchronous ecosystem programs that will help you to understand the different ecosystems out there in the blockchain space, and also uh, allow you to complete a bunch of different analytics challenges that we have available, which brings me to my next point, which is the analytics challenges. So we actually have a bunch of exciting analytics challenges currently available. You can go and complete those challenges if you already have the analytics skills. But if you don't have the analytics skills, then no worries, because we obviously have all these programs available for you. And we will soon be launching also a bunch of new exciting programs. And one of them is Cosmos. So today we're talking about Osmosis, which is part of the Cosmos ecosystem. But if you want to learn more about Cosmos, which is actually really good to understand if you want to understand projects like Osmosis in the ecosystem. But I would really invite you to join this course and register to it. We will be launching it in about 3 weeks. And I am actually right now dropping the link in the chat for you to actually be able to sign up to this program. Right. So enough about MetricsDAO, enough about the opportunities. Hope that to see all of you getting involved in the community in any way. But right now, let's jump into osmosis, which is the topic of today's webinar. So, what is osmosis? First and foremost. So, osmosis is if you were to describe it in one sentence, it is a fully customizable cross-shape automated market maker built on Cosmos that allows developers to design, build, and deploy their own customized automated market makers. We will be delving deeper into what it means and how does Cosmos do that later today. So we can also view Osmosis as a decentralized exchange protocol. It is because it uses smart contracts in order to determine the price of digital assets that are in the DEX to provide liquidity via a peer-to-peer methodology, which is driven by the blockchain technology and to exact trades between its users. And one of the things that it does is that it prices crypto assets in liquidity pools. And what it means is that when people contribute tokens to these pools, it helps foster decentralized liquidity, which is then used to facilitate trades on the exchange. So this is kind of at the core of how automated market maker works, and liquidity pools is kind of a huge part of it. And these participants of osmosis are also called liquidity providers. And the reason why they do it is because they earn trading fees and newly minted liquidity pool tokens in order, like, for is essentially in return for their participation. And when you look into the overview of Osmosis, it actually was founded not that long ago, in October 2021, by two founders, Sunny Agarwal and Josh Lee. And at the moment, it is actually 31st among all the DEXs out there when it comes to the trading volume. So some of the biggest DEXs at the moment right now are in the Ethereum ecosystem, but Osmosis is catching up and it is growing in volume and likely to take up a bigger place in the future. But one of the key things about Osmosis is that it is very customizable and it allows developers to leverage many different changeable parameters to build their own automated market makers that can dynamically fit a variety of outcome goals. And this is very different from what we see in the traditional kind of DEX or AMMA space, because in traditional sorry, automated market makers, essentially, you don't have that much ability to customize. So Osmosis is arguably the most customizable AMM out there. Also, it calls itself, that's obviously quite debatable, but Osmosis thinks that it is the most innovative AMM across all ecosystems. And it is largely because of its huge development capabilities and how much it allows developers to build their own customizable applications on top of it. So it is very unique from other AMMs, as we saw. First, um, because of its customization, but also is because it allows even the users the ability to create their own liquidity pools or to duplicate existing ones with their own unique parameters. So it is customizable for both fronts, both for the developers and for the users. And it is part of the Cosmos ecosystem. So, users of Osmosis protocol are able to natively trade assets from more than 47 different chains within Cosmos. So, you saw something there that it allows to trade between 47 different chains. Well, that's a lot of chains, and it's because Cosmos is a very unique blockchain network itself. And it can be viewed as an overarching ecosystem of blockchain networks. So Cosmos can also be called an internet of blockchains. So, since it has a bunch of these different chains or blockchains that it connects through, its own unique mechanism that it has created. Including the Cosmos Hub, which is kind of the main chain that serves as a central ledger and primary blockchain protocol to connect all these different chains in the Cosmos network. And the way these different chains or blockchains actually connect or talk with each other in the Cosmos ecosystem is through intra-blockchain communication protocol. We will be covering more details about what intra-blockchain communication protocol is and how Cosmos is actually connecting and creating this new Internet of Blockchain future in the course that I just shared with you in the chat. So if you would like to learn more about how this all works, then the course is going to be a great way for you to do so, and also it's free. Also, another thing that Cosmos about Cosmos is that it is a proof of stake blockchain, um, and it is using Atom as a native token. So the reason why I'm mentioning Cosmos here is because ultimately Osmosis is built using the Cosmos technology. So to understand how Osmosis is built, it's important to also understand a little bit about the blockchain or the layer one protocol that it is built upon. So okay, let's get back to market makers that we've started talking about today. So something about the kind of the general market makers is that they tend to operate as service-based products, which essentially means that they are like platforms creating pools that are free to join. However, in this dynamic landscape that we currently see in the decentralized finance space, this can compromise the efficiency and of the liquidity pools available for use. So this is the kind of the issue that we currently see with a lot of these projects. However, Osmosis was conceived in a little bit different way. And it was conceived as a service infrastructure that provides users the ability to tweak the values of tokens and supply, therefore lowering the barrier to creating custom-built AMMs. So again, bringing the customization innovation here to you again, and it is, as you can see, a very, very important part of what Osmosis is about. So essentially, if we look a little bit more and step a bit back about what even is liquidity providing and AMMs. So essentially, providing liquidity is the process of depositing assets into these AMM pools. Like generally, these automated market makers will have their own pools. Um, And we can also view them as kind of decentralized finance protocols. And these protocols actually allow for the swapping of assets without a centralized intermediary. So we can also compare it, as traditional firms make traditional markets. These automated market makers, what they do is that they establish prices and facilitate trades using permissionless liquidity pools into which users can deposit assets. So just to give an example specific to osmosis, if let's say pool one is the Osmo and Atom pool, so the Atom so is actually the token of Cosmos. Users can deposit Osmo, the token of osmosis, and Atom tokens into the pool and receive back pool one share tokens. And these pool one share tokens, which we can also call liquidity provider tokens, represent one's proportional ownership of the pool. So that's how it works. It is a bit complex, but we will be also having a bit more kind of information there in the course if you'd like to learn more. So how does that do that? How does actually Osmosis manage to build such an amazing infrastructure to allow all these wonderful customizations to happen? So first, it was developed on Cosmos SDK, and Cosmos SDK itself offers a lot of customization opportunities and also allows the opportunity to operate across chains. Well, what that means for Osmosis is that it now has the access to any chain built on the Cosmos ecosystem, which unlocks over 10 billion in total value locked. It also allows Osmosis to integrate with kind of other chains, such as Ethereum, giving it even more composability and interoperability. And if you're aware, it's actually really important for the blockchain technologies for projects to have possibilities to bridge, to interact with other blockchains, since it is said that we will be having a cross chain future in order to actually bring this blockchain space to the masses. So Osmosis also has ways on how it can interact with other chains that are not part of the Cosmos ecosystem. So also it has some other interesting features that are not so seen in normal automated, such as bonding curves, dynamic V swaps, and multi-token liquidity pools. Um, okay. Also, when it comes to looking into some more or like further differences about osmosis, is that when we actually look into like the traditional automated market makers, they are generally confined to operate within the native blockchain in which they were originally built. And we've just said that interchain future is very important, and it is very important for the projects to be able to connect with other blockchains outside of their own ecosystem. However, most of the AMMs that we see today are not so good at it, and which kind of means that this places limitations on developing a truly chain agnostic MMAs that can execute transactions across different networks seamlessly and efficiently, because obviously we want the seamlessness and efficiency to have and create a great user experience. And generally what we see in these traditional automated market makers is that their features are generally hard coded into their protocol, and they have a very rigid infrastructure, which is not so able to adapt to quickly changing demands of the market. And we know that the market, together with the whole blockchain space, is moving at an incredibly fast speed. So having kind of a technology that is able to adapt to those quick market changes is a huge advantage that Osmosis as well is bringing to the market. So we said that this customization is very important, and what it does is that enables developers to build, design, and deploy their own automated market makers, and they can actually fully customize novel parameters that they decide are their own and fully connect to this IBC ecosystem of Cosmos. So inter-blockchain communication ecosystem that Cosmos has developed, but also to connect outside of the Cosmos ecosystem too. And these changes and these parameters that they can implement can range quite significantly, and it can be, anything between token weights and swell fees to curves to determine which iteration will work best. And they also have the tools to quickly adjust these features. And this can be as quick as 1 week as market conditions change. So again, that is really, really important because these market conditions are changing quite fast. And we've seen we've seen many examples on the blockchain space where let's say a token price has dropped significantly in just a matter of a couple of days. So, what Cosmos does ultimately is that it allows a truly decentralized framework and lets market participants to determine the optimal equilibrium between fees and liquidity, um, whilst other market makers are kind of are more focused on having rigid protocol parameters and kind of attempt to determine these parameters for the developers. So it's really kind of drives these developers. It's like it's you can view it as well at the same time as much more community driven, as much more developer driven, since it has all these wonderful customization features. And this also means that it can have way more iterations to provide the most optimal results. So adapt quicker, adapt faster, and just improve much quicker. Another thing that Osmosis has implemented, which is also quite innovative in the space, is the superfluid staking. And superfluid staking is this framework that Osmosis has created. And what this staking framework do is that it allows users to stake assets to secure the network while simultaneously providing assets in a liquidity pool. So essentially, it is designed not only to increase users' capital, but also to contribute to the security of other blockchains in the Cosmos ecosystem. So it's very important kind of feature for the security purposes as well. And we know that security is a very, very important topic in the blockchain space. So essentially, users supply the liquidity pool while still staking the underlying asset in the blockchain from which it came. So we saw that Osmos has its own token, which is called the Osmo token. So what is this Osmo token used for? So first, it is used on voting on what changes will be made to the protocol itself. So Osmosis is community driven and it has its own governance mechanisms in order to involve the community. So people that have Osmo token can vote on changes. Also, it is kind of allowing liquidity mining rewards for liquidity pools, as well as setting the base network swap fee. So something that Osmosis says, like this, is that it is a protocol built for liquidity providers, and therefore it should be governed and owned by liquidity providers. So this is the core ethos and philosophy behind how Osmos is operating and being governed. So, looking a bit more into the osmosis governance, is that essentially, as osmosis develops, community will be able more and more to formulate strategies within the liquidity rewards and to continue improve the protocol. And osmosis is, as it kind of develops, is also improving its governance mechanisms and creating more and more ways for the community to get involved. And these token holders of Osmo token that participate in governments essentially are responsible for selecting which liquidity pools are eligible to receive liquidity rewards. So, what it means is that it allows stakeholders to dynamically incentivize liquidity pool provision and determine strategies that consistently evolve over time. And again, this is great for adjusting to the fastly changing market conditions. However, there is a bit of a downside here. So, through this community driven governance mechanism, is that it assumes that token holders, given that they have a long vested interest in the protocol's well being, also know um, which strategies to implement to best incentivize liquidity pools. So this can also lead to certain kind of problems over there. So basically, what this means is that if token holders guess incorrectly, then general liquidity volumes could suffer as liquidity providers exit to other automated market makers to enjoy more favorable conditions. However, if they guess correctly, then Osmosis would be able to pouch liquidity providers from other automated market makers. Right. That was it about osmosis. We will have a module about osmosis in our coming Cosmos course that I will share with you again here in the chat so that you're able to register and sign up. And I would also really welcome you to participate in our analytics challenges that we have already available. And we also have some analytics challenges actually on Cosmos and Osmosis. So, one of the reasons why we wanted to really focus as MetricsDAO on Osmosis and Cosmos is because we have a bunch of opportunities for you guys available to actually get involved, to analyze Osmosis and Cosmos, and even get rewarded for doing so. And the best way to do that would be to actually learn how to become a good analyst on Cosmos or Osmosis. Basically, you can join our analytics courses, join the Cosmos course, and join our community. And other than the Cosmos course, we also already have and will have available a bunch of other ecosystem courses such as Near, Solana, Algorand, and Ethereum. And actually, this week we will be launching our Solana program. So we really welcome you to join these courses, participate in our analytics challenges. Join our Discord server, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and do let us know if you have any questions. We're very happy to support you along your journey into the analytics world in Web3. So, thank you everyone for joining. I will also share a quick feedback form with you right now in the chat. If you like to give us some feedback, we'd love to hear it so that we can improve these webinars for you guys in the future. And otherwise, that's it for today. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope you learned more about osmosis and it how it actually innovated the automated market maker space. So have a good day ahead, and we'll hopefully see you in our community and in the future webinars organized by MetricsDAO. Bye bye.